President Trump has announced a 2-week ceasefire in Iran on the condition that the Strait of Hormuz is reopened. This after threatening to destroy the country if it didn't. NBC's Alice Barr is live in Washington this morning with the very latest. Good morning, Alice.
Good morning, Danita. And in a new post, President Trump called this a big day for world peace. Stock futures surged and oil prices dropped on word of a ceasefire, though questions remain. And the president said the U.S. would be hanging around to make sure everything goes well. This morning, a pause in the fighting after President Trump announced a 2-week ceasefire with Iran to negotiate a permanent end to the war. The president saying the ceasefire is subject to the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz. Adding in a new post, the U.S. would help ease the traffic buildup in the strait, and big money will be made. Iran's top diplomat posting that safe passage through that vital energy route will be possible, but will require coordination with Iran's armed forces. The announcement came just 90 minutes before a deadline when President Trump had declared, quote, a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again if Iran failed to reach a deal. On Monday, he threatened to destroy all of Iran's bridges and power plants.
Burning, exploding, and never to be used again. I mean, complete demolition.
The president's harsh rhetoric drawing widespread condemnation from Democrats and calls for his impeachment or removal. Even some Republicans voiced concerns.
I do not want to see us start blowing up civilian infrastructure. We are not at war with the Iranian people. We are trying to liberate them.
While the White House is now declaring victory in the ceasefire, so too is Iran. Its peace plan that President Trump called a workable basis for negotiations includes seeking the withdrawal of U.S. combat forces from all bases in the Middle East and continued controlled passage through the Strait of Hormuz.
Donald Trump took a military action that has apparently, at least for the time being, given Iran control over a critical waterway that they did not have control over before the war began.
Looming questions amid hopes for peace. And the Israeli Prime Minister's office said it supports President Trump's ceasefire decision, but said the deal does not apply to Lebanon, where Israeli forces are battling with Iran-backed Hezbollah militants. Iran is demanding an end to fighting there as part of a final peace deal. Danita.
All right, Alice Barr reporting live for us this morning from D.C. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, an American journalist who was abducted by an Iranian-backed militant group has been freed. Shelley Kittleson was released yesterday after she was kidnapped by Hezbollah last week in Iraq. The group said she could be released on the condition she could leave the country immediately. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says the U.S. is now working on getting Kittleson out of Iraq.
And while there's now a temporary pause in attacks involving Iran, people here at home are watching very closely. For some in Northeast Ohio, the conflict isn't about just headlines, it's family. Candace Hare joins us live this morning with the latest. Candace, good morning.
Good morning, David. And for one local doctor here in Northeast Ohio, she says that this is about so much more than a global politics, that for her, this is personal and it's emotional as well. Seeming, who asked us not to use her last name for the safety of her family, immigrated from Iran 40 years ago. And these days, she says her attention is on her family and her loved ones back home. And as the conflict continues, she says many Iranians are feeling both worried and hopeful, watching closely and waiting for what happens next. She says even hearing from her family at all has become something that she doesn't take for granted.
I have family in Iran still, and they've been in complete digital shutdown, of course. We can't call them. We don't hear from them. Every few days they call, and they call and let us know that they're okay.
And as far as everyone back home, Seeming asks that people keep paying attention and to not forget the people that are caught up in all of this conflict that's happening over in the Middle East. David?
Yeah, very important message there. Candace Hare live this morning. Candace, thank you.